What we'll do, before we get into the general candidates one, I'll just go through these statements. First one is from John Knowles. John's background is an A-grade automotive engineer in heavy transport and civil construction. I've been a Te Awamutu resident and vehicle inspector over 30 years, management experience up to 26 staff, always achieving high levels of financial performance. In that time, I have seen rates continually increase at 3 times the rate of inflation, wages and property values. It's been pleasing to see the current term of council that accounts have been rationalised, what rates increased have been much lower than were projected in the 10-year plan, which I felt were unrealistically inflated. The Cambridge Pool has finally offered what people asked for in the first place at a more realistic rate. I have a high level of business acumen, being a manager of the year for a nationwide company, and that's proof of my ability. I also have an appreciation of the plight of the average ratepayer, pensioner and families on low incomes. I feel we can move Waipawa forward while keeping rates affordable. I've no personal agenda or affiliation to any organisation demanding ratepayers fund the big ticket dreams. Therefore, I can offer an unbiased view on any big ticket items based on their merits. These projects need to be prioritised based on ratepayer feedback and benefit the majority, not the privileged minority, and to be done in a manner we can afford. They don't all have to be done at once, but we could get to them eventually. The current council has held the external debt to a fraction of the previous projections, clearly saving millions of debt servicing. We've been spending millions on our water infrastructure and water meters. I am concerned about the future of our water infrastructure under the proposed CCO. As I see, it could become a minor shareholder, and we could become a minor shareholder in our own water infrastructure, but with little or no say in how it's managed or how to get it back. Council say water can't be privatised, and council may not profit from water. However, this does not take into account supply charges, service charges, meter reading, cost of installation, all of which has not been disclosed, so we have no idea of what the finished cost of water services will be. However, this doesn't take into account all these things, as I said, and services will be despite requesting information in the past. I feel this is a strategic plan for the council to wipe its hands of the water problem and pass the matter on to a CCO who can charge whatever they like, recover the cost of water and its infrastructure, and this will of course be over and above our rates and paid separately to the CCO. I fail to see how this can be a council-controlled organisation when it will have autonomy. I see this as no different to government SOE examples where the price of power, telecommunications and many other services have become unaffordable to many. I also doubt we'll pay less for our water than we do now despite the reduction of the current water charge. There's lots of questions to be answered before I give our assets to a CCO that we won't control. I see the need for council to continue with the good things they've done on the current term and to ensure future actions are in the best interest of the ratepayers. So that's John Knowles. Vern Westerbaan. He sees as the essential requirements to be a councillor for Kakapuku Ward: transparency, understanding the rural environment, issues to be approachable, and most of all to have compassion for the people. Bernard says he's been married for 42 years, he has 5 children, 6 grandchildren, currently lives in Kiki for the last 21 years. He has governance experience on the Te Awamutu Community Board for the past 6 years, and currently he is the Deputy Chairman. He has a good knowledge of council practice, and he was employed with the council for 10 years, 1990 to 2010. This year he was re-elected to the Te Awamutu Intermediate School Board of Trustees as their financial convener. He will involve Kakapuku ratepayers with major happenings of the council by contacting people to ask for opinions, ideas and concerns. A database of interested people will be set up so he can ring or email them if he feels the need. Having met some of the people when 100% personal letterbox drops deliveries were done in the last year and again this year, Throughout the district, he knows many lives are affected by the high level of rates and the low payouts to farmers. Policies he's aiming for are 0% increase in rates, good communication and clear English with the ratepayers and attending to issues and ideas raised by you. He feels there should be less spending by concentrating on essentials only. Vernon says he's independent with an integrity that's needed to serve Kakapuku and speaking for Kakapuku's people, as they'll be the ones who elect him. His personal attributes are 100% commitment. He's a good listener, he's approachable, financially prudent, accountable, not afraid to speak up, understanding the rural environment and able to read and understand large reports. He has had quite wide community involvement with outfits like the ComSafe Patrols for Te Awamutu area, Christmas Parade Committee and the CCTV Set-Up Committee. Bruce Thomas from Parlane. I've enjoyed my 15 years on council, in particular the Parlane ward which I represent. As with any organisation, experience in the functioning and understanding of the process is vitally important. The next council term has to make some of the biggest decisions ever. I chair our regulatory committee and I understand the challenges associated with conducting hearings, both big and small. With a district that has growth, we have staff who are very competent and enjoy the work they do. For example, building consents issued were up 18% on the previous year. Having been involved in the rural community all my life has given me the knowledge to understand issues raised in that area. My community involvement is extensive, also I'm easily contacted for any ratepayer concerns. It's important to that the Waipa District Council has stability amongst its elected representatives as we arrive to make our district even better in the future. Your support would be appreciated. And finally, Richard Hurrell. Richard says he's standing for his fourth term on the community board, but I'm the current chairman and have thoroughly enjoyed my time there. I particularly like being able to talk directly to the council and staff regarding matters that have been brought to my and the board's attention from the community, other board members and by my own observations. Talking with people is a vital part of being a representative of the community, and as my wife will vouch, I'm certainly capable of conversing with people over a wide range of topics. It's all about listening, learning and progressing ideas where possible. I'm a believer that you reap what you sow, and that's why I'm involved in a number of community activities, all volunteers and working to make us a better place. Community safety is of big interest to me, being part of the ComSafe, showing pleasing results. Neighbourhood support and community patrols are areas where volunteers are helping themselves and each other. Another aspect of ComSafe is installation of CCTV across the district. There's a group of Cambridge and Te Awamutu people, once again volunteers, who are working towards having cameras placed in both towns as well as in Kiki. The project is developing well and we hope to have it running early next year, funding permitting of course. Having lived and worked in Te Awamutu for many years, I say it's a great place to live. The building developments currently going on and plans for the future will help to bring in new people, new families and new business to the area. This will help businesses and schools to grow. We shouldn't forget our past, and that is where the Walk of Fame is able to highlight that people from small towns can go on to do great things. Not everybody supported the library in the future and museum development, but I believe if we don't progress in that direction, we will lose out. I don't support over-the-top spending, but Te Awamutu's museum needs to be built soon, as it is an archival museum and holds so much local history that has not been told. We also need to be considering our ageing population and what effect that's going to have on the community. We need to be looking at what their needs will be in terms of facilities and being able to get around safely, that they are being looked after by family, friends and neighbours. That's what makes the community stronger. And we need to look after the younger generation as well, to encourage them to stay and work here and raise their families. They are the next lot of ratepayers and we need to cater for them. I see this town as a good place to work and live. It's part of a very progressive district and a lovely part of the country, close to everything. It's far enough away from big crowds, and that's from Richard.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Jim Mylchreest. For those of you who don't know me, I think looking around the room, I probably do know most of you. Yes, the sitting mayor for the last term of 3 years, an absolute privilege, and my wife and Robin and I have lived in this community most of our lives, and certainly raised our family in Te Awamutu. And I suppose I see the mayoralty as that ultimate position where we can actually put back into a community that's been really such a wonderful place to live and bring up our family. So look, I really want to build on the past and look towards the future, but I'd really stress the importance of having a well-informed and I suppose thorough approach to managing the council business. It's a huge business, $1.3 billion worth of your assets that we look after on an annual basis, and with an operating budget of around about $100 million a year. So it really does behove us to look after that and treat the matter of managing our finances and the projects that we look at with a great deal of detail. We have about $200 million capital spend already identified in our long-term plan that you've already had an opportunity to comment on, and that's based on worst case scenario in terms of the costs, and we put the highest costs that we anticipated into that 10-year plan, and the rates impact has been identified. And the reason that we've been able to come in under budget in terms of, or underestimate in terms of increases in rates, is that the council is continually looking at ways and means of keeping costs down, looking at alternative funding models for some of our major capital works projects, such as water and sewage, which are $100 million of that $200 million capital spend. So in effect, we need to be working really hard to keep those costs down, and we have opportunities to do that over the next 10 years. So I suppose that's business as usual in terms of how the council operates, but we also need to have some vision as well for the community, and look to, if we look back at all of the benefits that we've all had in Waipa over the years that we've lived here, they've all been built by current and past generations, and we need to look to the future as well, so that our future generations get those same opportunities that we have had. So a lot of those projects that people refer to as the nice to haves, and it's really only a small percentage of that total capital spend. It's around about the 15 to 20%, both in capital and operating. So those projects that people perceive as, I suppose, the icing on the cake, are the ones that really make this a place that people actually want to live in. And I've said on a number of occasions, you go to meetings where obviously rates is a concern and the costs, and people say we don't want to spend on the nice to haves, and you ask them why they live in Waipa, and it's always because of the family and friends foremost, but then it goes to the amenities like libraries, museums, swimming pools, parks and gardens. And no one has ever told me they come and live in Waipa because of the sewage treatment plants. So effectively, to try and attract people into the district, we need to provide those services. That's what keeps people coming here. That's what provides the growth that we need to support our community. If we don't have growth, then we will end up with a decreasing base, I suppose, to fund all of our infrastructure and our amenity services for the future. So in terms of moving forward, that growth and encouraging people to come and live here is really important. So in terms of some of our major projects, you'll all have seen the library is well underway at the present time, hope to be completed, it is completed structurally now, but it'll be open on the Friday before the long weekend, which I think is the 19th or 20th, somewhere in that sort of order of October, and we are well underway with sorting out the issue with the Cambridge pool. So that is progressing now, has already been mentioned in one of the written statements. So hopefully we can get underway with that. Okay. So we get a warning bell then too, do we? Okay, I'll finish there anyways, but open for any questions later on. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen from Grey Power and visitors too. Thank you very much for the invitation. I've been 2 terms as a Te Amuta Ward councillor, and it gives you great insight on how council works, and what's expected of the mayoralty. Why would I stand for the mayor? It would give me more direction to make any changes that I think we should do. I've got very strong beliefs that I'm trying to read this correctly. In pensioner housing, because the pensioners suffer. Now, if we peg the pensioner housing rent, should be pegged to their income. If we peg it to market value, what happens is that as the market value goes up, the pensioner housing will become unaffordable for them, and the market value is climbing. We've had one lady come to the council. She was on a sickness beneficiary for sure, but she's on $248 a week and she's paying $170 a week rent. Another lady stopped me in Cambridge the other day and she said she's paying $250 rent, less than $60 she gets from when she's paying $190. Well, if you're on a fixed income with a pension, it's unaffordable. And we've got to look after them. One of my strong beliefs is we've got to look after sick, the elderly, the needy. We've got obligation to do it. And a lot of pensioners, when you get older, you work all your life to buy a house, then you get to a position where you're virtually rated out of it because you can't afford to pay the rates. A lot of people are paying about $2,400, $2,500 a year. Now you work that out, it's about $200 a month or $50 a week. And that's out of your pension. You've got to pay your power, electricity, your food, if you're running a car, everything else. So we've got to try somehow, and when we say our rates are low, our rate base is very high. So if you've got people, we say the average is 2%, if you've got someone paying 0.2, someone else is paying 4%. The farmers got hit very hard. They got hit their rate. They were paying, some of them paying 10,000 and they're getting a 6% increase. And a lot of them have come up to us, and what hit them was the soups rate. And one of my arguments was the soups rate should never have gone on to the farmers. It was put on to the retirement villages because they were paying only one targeted rate per property, with 120 houses on one in Cambridge. But when we put it on to the farmers, it hit them hard. At the time they could least afford it. So by me saying I would reduce the mayoral salary, it's not grandstanding, it's making a strong statement. We will save money. And you've got to start from the top down if you're serious about saving operating expenses, and put your money where it should be, in roads, footpaths, sewage, water. Now our water plants run down, our sewage plants run down, and Cambridge's got major problems with your sewage plant. And we've got to, when we say we've saved money, we have, but a lot of it's been saved through deferral. And the question is, when you defer, are you saving money? And in my opinion, no, you're not. You're putting off the inevitable, and it's going to cost you more when you do it. We should have really done something about the water 10 years ago. I've been on council 6 years and had this discussion many, many times. And we're still in the same position where we're saving water by our policy is to save water, and water meters is part of it rather than cure the problem. You've got 2 options. One is to either stop people using water or increase the water supply. I would have gone for increasing the water supply and put your money there. And by building a modular plant, we could have done it. Waipa's got 6 or 8 different water sources. We're putting bores down now, and they cost $1 million. Is that it? Thank you very much, and I appreciate you listening.
Okay, thank you, and good afternoon, voters. I have been dedicated to promoting a healthy, progressive, safe and affordable Waipa during my term on council. Waipa, particularly in Te Awamutu and our Kihikihi wards. In my opinion, it is my opinion that this current council has given good service, kept rates to a minimum and core services within budget, and I look forward though to us doing even better. Alongside our mayor, the council has brought their expertise and their experience to the discussion and decisions that had to take place, and difficult as it might have been over some issues, The majority vote was respected. We have employed the best, most qualified staff to bring all of the information to the table for debate to make sure that Council has a full picture. The water debate has taken a huge amount of time and it is now ready for public consultation. That's you, to talk to you. It will be the most important item you have ever had to decide on, and that you understand the implications and let us know what you think. And I, for one, will be really listening. Our senior citizens will make up 65% of our population within the next 5 years, and there needs to be heaps more discussion on how we support and plan for their future, preferably asking them how they see it. Transport services, health services, recreation and safety at every pedestrian crossing, footpath, road and accessway that is constructed. Our Palmer Street pensioner units need attention, and perhaps do we need to think about building more? Our senior citizens are the fountains of our history, and their stories need to record the prominent place that Te Awamutu and Kihikihi have in New Zealand history. The heart of history, it happens to be right here. Our young love to know where they came from, help them understand where they are today and where to go in our free, beautiful community. We must assist with creating employment opportunities locally to keep them here. Our families, our business people, our disabled, our needy, building affordable homes, everybody in our community all need consideration to make our piece of the world a safe place to live, work and play. So please vote for me.
So yeah, this is my third chance to stand in front of you guys and tell you a bit about myself. We've had a really good term this last 3 years, and it's been awesome having a great team of councillors to work around, being led by Mayor Jim. We've achieved some awesome stuff. We've done our community hub project, and the library is just about finished now, which is stage 1. We've got our next part happening with the playground and everything, and we've got our cycleways and our natural heritage that we're working on as well. So the next 3 years are going to be pretty exciting too. I've been focused on things for our young families to get involved with. I've got a young family myself, so the cycleway between Te Awamutu and Kiki to link up the Kiki domain through to the dairy factory is something I've been particularly strong about and pushing hard, and that's just about to get underway now. We've also got a cycleway going from Te Awamutu to Paronia, which we'll be able to cycle and walk and whatever, so that's going to be awesome and open up our natural heritage. It's a bit exciting time to be in Waipa. It's really, really cool, and I'm really excited that hopefully I'll have the opportunity to do another 3 years. So thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Following my return to Heartland about 15 years ago, I've had a great interest in community and just what we are doing and what we can do. A little bit about myself: I'm an independent director, Interstate Institute of Directors member, and have a network from 15 years of working as a director. So governance for me is stimulating and rewarding, and especially with the likes of Enrich Plus, Chamber of Commerce, through the disability sector, a couple of sport positions, and also not long ago the Ovalako Waikato Wars 150 commemoration. Also on other boards, I've been responsible, had committee responsibility for fair ads, which is advertising, policing of advertising in the industry, and recycling of chemical containers. As a member here of the TACPRO board, I was instrumental in the building of the barbecue at Pioneer Park, a significant first step for the hub. I'm active on the hub committee and the CBD retail economic review, so there's some issues that we need to look at there. I participated in the CBD traffic review, and the latest news is that there is no change to the speed limit in the CBD, so we can perhaps give a sigh of relief for that. And that bylaw is now on the WDC website. So my strengths: I understand the complementary roles of management and governance. I'm a good listener, a reasonable communicator, an enthusiastic big picture strategic thinker, prepared to consider innovative solutions, and a capable, skilled layman. Is that 2 minutes? So, my focus issues are affordable housing, secure water supply, attractive shopping, digital connectivity, destination TA, and an inclusive community. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm James Parlane, and what you've just heard, I can give you all of that and more, and we'll have fun doing it. So vote for me, please. Otherwise, you'll have simply more of the same and no fun. Now, I've got two speeches. One's a song and one's a speech. Now, the speech is the ugly one and the song is slightly funny. Which one would you like?
The song.
The song. The song is stolen from James Taylor. And it goes, and I'll try and sing it, but I'm not a very good singer. And it goes, I woke up this morning and I wrote down this song and I just don't know who to send it to. It's called Fire and Rain, by the way. My body's aching and it won't go away, so I'll just have to see me through a few more days. And I've seen fire and I've seen rain, and I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I would see you all again. The rates of the council have got us chained, and the sitting council can't remain. It's time you used your vote again, and it's James Parlane who can take away your pain. I've seen fire, and I'll make amends. I've seen sunny days, and I thought they would never end. I've had voting papers, but I could not find a pen, and I always knew that I would count on you again. They keep putting money down the drain. This naughty council needs the cane. Promises were broken and not enough complained. So now it's time for you to send them on their way. They built a library and nobody complained. They sneak things through on the fast lane. $4 million needs to be paid, and you will have to find it anyway. And I've seen fire and I've seen rain, and I've seen council debt balloon out of control again. I've seen money spent like drunken sailors without pain, and I know that you can get rid of those rubbish stampers without shame. Your mayor has treated you with disdain, and you have a chance to make him refrain. If only you would use your vote wisely again, you could get Vern Wilson to be your man again. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Clare St Pierre, and I'm the sitting councillor, or one of them, for Pirongia Ward. I thought I'd just give you a bit of information about my background. I was born at Tirori, so in the district, and grew up here. And I had my first job was at the ANZ Bank here in Te Awamutu. I've got a banking background because I stayed with the bank and I did things like lending and operations, and then I moved to Wellington to the head office and did a lot of technical and legal and research aspects about running networks, I suppose branch networks, things like that. I met my husband Tony down there through Toastmasters, and so we've been married for 27 years and we've got 5 children, and we moved back to Pirongia about 20 years ago. And as a stay-at-home mum, I was involved in a lot of things in the community, like play centre and then through the school, and then the Ratepayers Association and the Heritage and Information Centre. I was involved in the tourism group out there, and I suppose the thing that's I'm most known for really is I was a founding member of Pirongia Te Aroha Restoration Society, which looks after Mount Pirongia, and we're probably one of the most successful community groups looking after biodiversity in the Waikato, and we've got a big pest control operation going on Mount Pirongia, and we've started another one down at Puriura Forest looking after kokako. So we hope to bring kokako back to our maunga, which would be fantastic. I really enjoyed my time on the council. This has been my first term, just 3 years, and I've become a member of the Regulatory Committee, and so I'm a Commissioner for Resource Management Act hearings, and I also chair the Audit and Risk Committee, which is a new committee. I think we've done a really good job as councillors looking after our communities. We've really tried to keep rates down, but looked after the strategic direction, and I hope that you'll support me again this time. Thank you.
I'm Colin Pinkerton, and I'm standing for Kakapuka for council this time. Now, no apologies, you won't find me on Facebook, you won't find me tweeting or blogging what I had for breakfast, but you will find me On the end, I've still got a phone with a cord in it. If I'm elected, I'll be on the end of that phone any time within reasonable hours. Why am I standing? I've lived, farmed, paid rates, worked in the district for nearly 50 years. This is my district. This is my town. And I say town, Kakapuka and Tiramuru and Pirongia for that matter, we're actually totally interlaced. We're not separate, we're one. We're one. In fact, I often wonder why we actually need a separate ward. I want, and I say Tiramuru, but I want the district to grow in a sustainable way. I think growth is good. If you think growth is bad, just talk to our cousins a bit further south who are on negative or low growth and see what they're doing to their rates. How can I make a difference? Well, that's up to you to tell me how I can make a difference. At 66 years, I think I'm the oldest one. Hazel's catching me up. But I know we both lose our car keys occasionally, don't we, Hazel? But we still have a lot to offer. And I put myself in that, I have the experience. I've spent 9 years on community board. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm the only appointed member of the Heritage Committee from Community Board, both Cambridge and Tiramuru. I'm on with Hazel. My passion has been heritage and environment, and I thank actually Susan for reminding me. I was watching her profile, reading her profile, and our farm also won a environment award, the previous farm, and the one before that won the Dairy Farm of the Year. So I'm committed to farming. I know I'm semi-retired now. In fact, I call myself retired. I have all the time to spend on the council. I just have 40 acres on the edge of town. I have a small museum which keeps me occupied. And we've been retired, you have my undivided attention. Now, okay. I just want to say though, I'm not standing for me, I'm not standing for you, I'm standing for your children, my children, your grandchildren and grandchildren. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nigel Anderson. I live at Pukeato where I've lived all my life. Good afternoon, Mr Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to come and speak to you this afternoon. And if elected, I will be happy to come back at some time in the future to talk to you again. My biggest concern is the ever-increasing rates, as I believe if they continue to spiral uncontrollably, they will become unaffordable for many to pay. Rate increases should only be able to rise in line with inflation. This is possible to achieve even though we don't want to halt further progress of the whole of the Waipa district. Core infrastructure such as water, sewerage and roading must be maintained and upgraded. But Council needs to recognise that there is a difference between wants and needs, just as we as wage earners or business owners have to. I am sure you all have had nice to haves on your wish list, but the budget would not allow. Council should be no different and need to prioritise spending in line with budget constraints and be accountable for all decisions made. Businesses and individuals have to make their budgets balance, just as councils should, and not rely on the magic money tree, also known as the ratepayer. In conclusion, I stand for accountability, controlled rate increases, reduced spending on nice-to-haves, and prioritising expenditure to stay within budget. I believe it is healthy that you all have a choice in these elections with quality candidates seeking your vote. Thank you for listening to me today.
Hello, my name is Susan O'Regan. I'm 44 years old, married to John Hayward, and we have 5 children between us. We're dairy farmers from Puahui, and until 2010 I was a barrister in Tiamutu, specialising in family law. John and I are the supreme winners for the Waikato of the Balanced Farm Environment Awards for 2016, and we're passionate about sustainable farming. Many people have asked me, why do you want to go for council? And I answer, it's simple really. I want to play my part in creating a district our children want to live in and thrive in into the future. It's about sustainable growth and development. It's about future-focused, intelligent decision-making. It's about having a vision for a district and strategically fulfilling that vision. Sure, water, wastewater processing, roading and the likes are necessities for us to live. But the development of libraries, museums, swimming pools, parks and reserves actually make life worth living. They make our communities more informed healthier and more progressive. They bring colour and vibrancy to our lives. I'm committed to realising a vision for Te Awamutu and the rural surrounds and becoming a heritage and environmental capital of the region. We're blessed to have an internationally unique ecological island in a district which is rich in Maori and early settler history. These attractions must be sensitively developed and promoted to increase tourism. This space needs a lot of work, and I would relish the opportunity to be around the council table to ensure it happens. I have a broad range of skills and experience in the legal area, governance, business and farming. I am a driven and an intelligent person, as well as being an excellent communicator. I believe I've been an extremely effective advocate for our rural ward, given my huge personal investment in terms of my owning a farm and raising a large young family in the district. We need fresh faces and energetic individuals on council, and I firmly believe I am that. I therefore sincerely ask you for your vote. Thank you.
Firstly, thank you, Alistair, and to Grey Power for facilitating this meeting. Very, very good. Hello, everybody. My name is Gary Derbyshire, and I'm a candidate for the Te Awamutu Community Board. My wife, Christine, and myself have just recently sold our coach and charter tour operation, so I do recognise many of my old clients out here. Now, we need a strong voice to advocate for this community when decisions are being made at council level. It is not our job as community board to balance the conflicting needs of the whole district, but to identify and support projects which benefit us here on this side of the district. To achieve this, we need a team of committed, focused and highly effective people to listen to the community and formulate recommendations to be presented to council. This requires an open and inquiring mind, a strong sense of fairness, and an understanding of the issues facing all that make up our community, both the fortunate and the not so fortunate. Our board requires people who have the common touch, the ability to sit alongside others and understand how they see the world. We also require our representatives to be able to work together for the common good, not with a hidden agenda or with any preconceived ideas or with prejudice. It is my intention, if I am fortunate enough to secure your support, to be proactive on this board for the next 3 years, to advocate strongly on your behalf, and to initiate and support projects that benefit us on this side of the district. I also intend to gather support for those causes by using diplomacy and tact, by using reason and evidence, not emotion or personal politics. We are a very diverse community full of talented individuals, both in sport and in the arts. In my view, they need our support equally, as do our very young and those seniors who still have much to offer. The infrastructure and services provided by and supported by council should reflect this. Thank you for your anticipated support.
Hello, my name is Dan Armstrong. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak here today. I've grown up here, work here, and over the last several years I've been active in our community. I've worked to support a number of groups and organisations because I'm eager to see a positive change in Te Awamutu and Waipa. A lot of that has been advocating on issues to the Council and Community Board. For those who don't know, the board has the ability to allocate funds to community projects, has a public forum and can advocate on issues. I've sat in on a number of community board meetings and I saw some really good things, but we lacked the interaction between the board and the residents, which is meant to happen because the community board should be a strong link between the people and the council. So that's what I want to do. I want to improve community engagement. Other councils do it, including our own, but we need a community board that will be doing the same. Areas around using social media and physically getting out there will be able to make a real difference when communicating with people. That's what I've been doing. Over the last 2 Saturdays alone, I've knocked on over 100 doors across Te Awamutu and Kihikihi because I thought it was important to listen and connect with people and see what they wanted. Community engagement isn't the only area I'm interested in though. There are areas around the environment and roading I'd like to see change in, and I believe the community board can be that vehicle of change. So this year, we need candidates that will be out in the community, that will be ready to learn, listen and represent. This year, vote Dan Armstrong for the Te Awamutu Community Board. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Alistair, for the invitation on behalf of Grey Power. I guess I probably don't need a big introduction. Being the manager here of the club for the last 15 years, I actually stood down from that position about 3 months ago and decided it's time to just slow down my lifestyle. So with that in mind, what did I think that I could bring to the community board when I was asked to stand? I believe that the club here is exactly the same as the community board, but in a smaller version. I had to deal with people from all ages, gender, race, religion, socio-economic backgrounds, the whole 9 yards. To do that, the big skill that I had to learn was to listen, and that's exactly what I would wish to bring to you. To listen to your concerns, to listen to your suggestions, your ideas, projects you've got on your mind, so I can take that information away, I can evaluate it, I can research it, but then communicate back to you. What is the value of this? Is it going to actually affect the biggest group of people within our community? Because that's what we have to look at. We all have a good bucket list of things we want to have. Obviously money's a restraint, we can only go so far. So with that in mind, I have a philosophy that I'd like to bring to you that I've used in life here and separately as well. And that being, if we have healthy body, healthy mind, active people, it generally transfers into people that are going to be positive about their community. They will want to live, work, play, and do their business in town. They'll also promote our town as well. We have got a fabulous town here with some pretty fabulous amenities. We need to promote that. We need to bring more people into the town because they will then make the town even more prosperous than what it already is. Unfortunately, not everybody ticks that box. We do have some people on the other side of the coin, not so active, bit of an idle time with the brain. They tend to get into a little bit of mischief, and a little bit of mischief can often get into a bigger little bit of mischief. We need activities, we need to have facilities that are affordable and accessible to all so everybody can get out and play and enjoy living here and be safe. Thank you for you all. I will be an advocate for you. Your vote is important to me as well as the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the invitation. So, who am I? Ange Holt, mum of 2 young children, Jessica and Floyd, and partner of Dave, or Space Dave as he's known. I work at the Te Awamutu Courier as a media sales consultant. Where am I from? Hawke's Bay, having moved to Te Awamutu 16 years ago. What have I done? I have a background in marketing and promotions, run my own business, served on the Play Centre Committee, helped at TA Primary, a trustee for ComSafe, and whilst chair of the Eyesight governing body, I facilitated the community barbecue, supported the installation of free Wi-Fi, and co-produced the Love Waipa magazine. What do I do now? Maintain the community website, teawamutu.nz, watch my kids' sports and activities, do community patrol, cook dinner, go to Chamber of Commerce meetings and events, do the cleaning, am on the gym sport committee and judge at gym competitions, do the washing, am a trustee on the Waipa Community Trust, attend Hub Advisory Group and Waipa CCTV meetings. I also am working on improving the parking and traffic flow in the warehouse car park. What is important? The people, be it family, elderly or youth, you are all important and you all count. That Te Awamutu is safe, that we have great facilities and infrastructure, that we progress so people want to live here. This keeps the town moving forward. It creates pride and fun memories, a place we will always call home. That we work together and utilise each other's strengths. Why? I love Te Awamutu and its people. I want to be a role model for my kids so they too will give back to their community. I want to make a difference, to contribute, to encourage more collaboration and teamwork. How? To consult, to build great working relationships, to listen to feedback and make well-informed decisions. I'd like to thank our candidates for making the effort to represent their community. Whatever the outcome, I think Te Awamutu will be well looked after. You can count on me to listen, be forthright, honest, prudent, put public opinion first and get stuck in. Thank you.
Tēnā koutou, I'm Nigel Pinkerton. For many of my peers, success meant leaving the district. And that was the path that I took. Having gone to Te Awamutu College and on to Waikato University, I headed down to Wellington to make a go of it. But a couple of years ago I moved back, and I brought my job and my family with me. And since doing that, I've discovered that my situation is not that unique. I know of 4 other people just in my immediate circle of friends who live in this district, but they work for companies in Auckland or Wellington or even overseas. And of course, these people shop and spend locally and pay rates. I believe that Te Awamutu is a great place for these people to live and to raise a family. I believe we have great facilities, great natural amenities, and just a friendly and relaxed pace of life. But of course, there's always room for improvement, and I'm keen to see what more could be done to make Te Awamutu the sort of place that these people want to stay in, that your kids and your grandkids want to stay in and raise their own families in. Now, as you know, I don't have a lot of time, but I just want to say a couple of other things about my candidacy. I believe I'm the only Kakapuku candidate who's standing just for the community board, and that's where I feel I can make the biggest contribution right now. You can read all about my qualifications on my profile. I'm from a dairy farming background, but I know my way around the board table. I don't do partisan politics. I believe in fair and open-mindedness, hearing all sides of an argument. Above all, I believe in freedoms, political freedoms, economic freedoms. And while this means I'll often lean to the right on an economic issue, I also have a very strong social conscience, and I believe that everybody should be included. I think I'm probably just about out of time, but thanks for the opportunity to come and talk to you today. And I apologise if I had to slip out a bit earlier due to other commitments. Thank you.